Vegeta, you've walked a path filled with battles, not just against your enemies, but against yourself. Your life has been marked by a relentless pursuit of power, a hunger that's driven you to the edge time and time again. But where has it truly led you? Let's reflect on that together. You see, power without purpose is an empty pursuit, and I want you to understand this deeply, because your journey has been one of both immense potential and profound tragedy. Do you remember your early years, Vegeta? As a prince of the Saiyan race, you were born into privilege, but also into a world of violence and destruction. Your father, King Vegeta, drilled into you that power was everything, that to be strong was to rule, to dominate. But even then, as a child, did you not feel that emptiness? That gnawing void inside, knowing that your power was not truly your own, but something expected, something imposed upon you. The destruction of your home planet, the loss of your people, that wasn't just a tragedy. It was a wound that never healed, wasn't it? A wound that festered into a burning desire for revenge, for supremacy, and for validation. When you first came to Earth, you were a man consumed by pride and hatred. You believed yourself invincible, that the mere mention of your name would strike fear into the hearts of your enemies. But what did you find instead? A world where your power was challenged, where your very identity as the Prince of Saiyans was questioned. You saw Goku, a low-class warrior, standing in your way, not as an equal, but as a superior in every sense. How did that make you feel, Vegeta? Angry, frustrated, humiliated. You wanted to destroy him, not just because he opposed you, but because his existence was a contradiction to everything you had been taught. How could someone of his background possess such strength, such purity of spirit? It infuriated you because deep down you knew that power alone was not enough to make you whole. Your battles on Earth were not just against the Z fighters, but against your own insecurities, your own doubts. Every time you fought, you weren't just trying to win. You were trying to prove something, to yourself and to the ghosts of your past. You believed that by defeating Goku, by proving your superiority, you would finally find the peace that had eluded you for so long. But did you, Vegeta? Did you find peace? Or did each battle only deepen your despair, your feeling of inadequacy? Because no matter how strong you became, no matter how many foes you vanquished, the one enemy you could never defeat was your own pride. Remember when you allied yourself with Frieza? You were a proud warrior, yet you allowed yourself to be subjugated, to become a tool in the hands of a tyrant. Why? Because you believed that power would eventually set you free. But all it did was chain you further, making you a prisoner of your own desires. Frieza used you, manipulated you, and when the time came, he discarded you without a second thought. Vegeta, that moment should have been a revelation, a realization that power without purpose, without a greater cause, is meaningless. But instead, you let it fuel your rage, your need for revenge. And that rage, Vegeta, it blinded you. It turned you away from what truly mattered, from the people who could have helped you find your way. When you arrived on Namek, you were no longer just fighting for pride or power. You were fighting for your very survival, for the chance to rewrite your destiny. You aligned yourself with Gohan and Krillin, not out of friendship, but out of necessity. But even then, Vegeta, did you not feel a stirring within you? A recognition that there was more to strength than just raw power? When you fought alongside them, however reluctantly, did you not sense a different kind of power, a power born of unity, of trust? But your pride, Vegeta, it wouldn't let you accept that. You still believed that to be truly strong, you had to stand alone, to conquer on your own terms. And then there was your battle with Frieza. You believed that you had finally become the Super Saiyan, that legendary warrior of your people. But what happened? Frieza crushed you, humiliated you, and in that moment, all your pride, all your arrogance came crashing down. You wept, Vegeta. You wept not just because you were defeated, but because you realized the truth, that all your life you had been chasing a shadow, a ghost of power that would never truly fulfill you. And as you lay there, beaten and broken, did you not question everything you had fought for? Did you not wonder if there was more to life than just this endless cycle of battle and defeat? When you joined forces with Goku and the others to fight Frieza, it wasn't just a battle against a tyrant. It was a battle against your own demons. You saw in Goku something that you had never understood, a strength that came not from pride, but from a deep, unwavering commitment to protect those he loved. And for the first time, Vegeta, you began to see that there was more to being a warrior than just power. You began to see that true strength lies not in domination, but in protection, in sacrifice. Think about the androids, Vegeta. When they first appeared, you were driven by one thing, to prove that you were the strongest, that you could defeat any foe that came your way. But what did you find instead? That your power, as immense as it was, could not overcome the challenges ahead. You fought with everything you had, but it wasn't enough. And when Cell appeared, you saw the true cost of your pride. You allowed Cell to reach his perfect form, believing that it would give you the ultimate challenge, the ultimate test of your strength. But what did it bring instead? Death, destruction, and the realization that your pride had led you down a path of ruin. Vegeta, when you faced Majin Buu, you were given a choice between redemption and damnation. You allowed yourself to be controlled by Babidi, believing that it would give you the power to finally surpass Goku. But that power came at a price, didn't it? You sacrificed your will, your freedom, for a fleeting sense of superiority. And when you looked into the eyes of your son, Trunks, what did you see? Did you see the pride you had sought all your life? Or did you see the disappointment, the fear in his eyes? That moment, Vegeta, was a turning point, a moment where you realized that power without love, without purpose, is hollow. Your sacrifice against Majin Buu was not just an act of courage, it was an act of redemption. You knew that you had made mistakes, that your pride had led you astray. But in that moment, you chose to protect rather than to destroy. You chose to put the lives of others above your own, and in doing so, you found a strength that you had never known. That, Vegeta, is the true essence of power. Not in how much you can destroy, but in how much you can protect. After the battle with Buu, you started to change, didn't you? You began to see that there was more to life than just fighting, than just proving your strength. You began to understand that your family, your friends, were more important than any battle. You started to see that the true test of a warrior is not in how many enemies he can defeat, but in how he can protect those he loves. But even then, Vegeta, your pride still held you back. You still couldn't fully let go of that need to prove yourself, to surpass Goku. And then came the Tournament of Power. You were given another chance, another opportunity to prove your strength. But this time, it was different, wasn't it? You weren't just fighting for yourself. You were fighting for your universe, for the very existence of everything you held dear. And in that battle, you found a new kind of strength, a strength that came not from pride, but from love, from a deep, unshakable commitment to protect those you cared about. When you gave your energy to Goku, when you put aside your pride to help him achieve Ultra Instinct, that was a moment of true growth, Vegeta. That was a moment where you showed that you had finally begun to understand what it means to be strong. Vegeta, your journey has been long and difficult, filled with challenges and hardships. But every step of the way, you have learned, you have grown. You have seen the folly of pride, the emptiness of power without purpose. You have begun to understand that true strength comes not from domination, but from compassion, from the willingness to protect others. But there is still more for you to learn, more for you to understand. You see, Vegeta, your greatest enemy has always been your pride. It has driven you, motivated you, but it has also blinded you, led you astray. It has kept you from seeing the truth, that you are more than just a warrior, more than just the Prince of Saiyans. You are a father, a husband, a protector, and in that role, you have found a strength that no battle, no amount of power could ever give you. But there is still a part of you that clings to the past, that holds on to the belief that you must always be the strongest, that you must always prove yourself. Vegeta, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You are enough as you are. Your worth is not measured by your power, but by the love you give, the sacrifices you make, the lives you protect. You don't have to be perfect, Vegeta. You don't have to be the strongest. You just have to be true to yourself, to the man you have become. And in doing so, you will find a strength far greater than anything you have ever known. A strength that comes not from power, but from love, from compassion, from the willingness to protect those you care about.